Yeah, I know so many people who did not spend the time and money that I did on college. Um, they don't have the loans. They just learn to communicate, to work, do business. Like I always think businessmen are
Mm-hmm.
interesting because I know a lot of very successful people in China who weren't as interested in the culture as I was and didn't get the understanding that I got or delve in. They weren't as advanced as I was in learning the language and the culture and the reading and but they were good at business and they didn't need to learn. That's what I find is that knowing Chinese language, say explaining it like I people ask me, they're like, oh, you speak Chinese, it's opportunities. It has not helped me in business in any way,
Mm-hmm.
really, except when I'm doing like translation work or something like the work I do now. There's some communication stuff where it's useful, but largely I tell people it's a parlor trick. It's
What does
great
this
for.
word mean?
It means it's something you can. It's like a card trick. It's
Uh,
something you impress people with
uh-huh.
at a society
Uh,
function in a parlor.
uh,
You can impress people. People go, wow. If I
uh,
go to a Chinese restaurant and I order in Chinese, everybody goes, wow, that's
uh-huh.
great. but but it hasn't improved my life in the way that like any of my much you know I would say people who did far less uh, who got jobs in business and just did business without having to learn Chinese. Just they hired someone who spoke it, and plenty of Chinese people speak English, so you don't really need to know Chinese to do business in China. Um, they know they have something they do. I didn't have something that I did outside of the language. I didn't have the skill. It wasn't like a trade. I wasn't a plumber or a carpenter or a business. Um, Instead, I eventually, kept with the writing thing, and so now my work is writing and translation um, and that sort of communications, marketing, that sort of thing, as opposed to someone who is, you know, a, a doctor or a professional, has a certain an accountant, scientist who knows the language. Maybe that would be more helpful.
No, I don't like to
So,
think that way.
and
At least we gave
I've
up.
since forgotten most of it.
I don't want to be
What's
those
that?
specialists. I don't want to be those specialists. This will be so
Mm.
cliche. And then my friend sometimes say, "Oh, that's because you think too much and act
Hmm.
too
Oh my
little."
God.
So that means like trying to say I'm lazy. But I guess you will need time to think, and thinking takes time. If you keep doing things and without thinking, you lose your direction. So they just keep working, doing things, without
Right.
spending much time thinking or
Yes.
meditate.
Yes. They're very happy to be ants or worker bees. And most people are, I think. I was looking at
Uh,
a documentary about ants and, look at all these ants. They're just doing their one job,
mm,
moving food from one place to another. And, and I thought, I think too much. I'm just like you. I think, why am I moving this thing from here to there? And who are these people around me? And what, like, too much worrying and thinking about why and not enough just doing it. Um, but I would rather be the way I am. I I don't regret it. I just think it's the way I've gone through my life, and it's what has made me, put me where I am. This is why I accept my lot in life. I accept where I am, what I've achieved, and I'm still continuing to learn and do more things. But I'm not striving to be number one anything, but I keep learning new things and trying to apply them. But I do think I think too much.
Yes. And also about this whole rude people around us, if it's necessary for us to have some rude people,
Yeah.
I think.
Is it necessary to have rude people?
I observe my kids' sibling rivalry. So my youngest, the two older ones say all kinds of things to him. So he's like always happy and smiles, and he doesn't really care. But Sean is very sensitive, and he is the first child, and he has been like doing things great. So if I try to say something like negative or not encouraging, I find him like tend to be very defensive. But if I say the same thing to my youngest, he doesn't seem to be bothered that much. So that's, of course, we go back to our original, the original conversation of having bad friends. We don't want bad friends too much, but sometimes I think, how do we deal with these rude people, not let them get their way and hurt us?
Yeah. You want to be a little tough, right?
Yes.
You don't want to be too weak and coddled, and you want people to be honest with you, and you want to trust them. So you want friends who will tell you the truth, tell you when you look a little nerdy and maybe you need to relax a little more. But sometimes, it's like, how do you know when you're just fishing for compliments? We'll call that, fishing for compliments. You're you're looking for sometimes you just want someone to tell you you're okay, or tell you you did a good job. And if you ask them and they tell you anything else, your hopes are dashed, or you get upset. So, it's hard. This is, if you're a sensitive person like we are, it can be hard to navigate that. Sometimes you get upset, sometimes you don't.
I remember when I got my first internship at Mountain View for Edelman Public Relations in my fourth year of school. And so they asked me if you have any like weaknesses. So I said I'm too sensitive. So I think at that time the interviewer said, "Oh, we're all sensitive." Oh, he's a graduate from Columbia as well, of course. Maybe a lot of older, of course, maybe 20, 25 years older than you. I don't know. But he said, "Oh, everybody's sensitive." But at that time, I think maybe he thought I was, what I try to say is I'm sensitive to any racial injustice or any like discrimination against my race or my sex. I don't know how he view it, but when I say I think my weakness is sensitivity. I think it's what I'm trying to say to you now. It's like I take things very personally.
Yeah, and I think that's a good answer to that question. First of all, I hate that question. People say, "What's your weakness?" I'm not going to tell you. Why would I share that information? But they ask you. I once said to an interviewer something stupid like, I'm a perfectionist. I'm
That's
it's just idiot. Yeah, something stupid like that.
sounds very confident, overconfident.
Yeah, overconfident, right?
Yes.
And I think it's a stupid question anyway. I wish they wouldn't ask that, but they do, and they will continue to ask that. But I think yours is a good answer. It's too sensitive. You can take things and let them know that that you're thinking about it and that you want to get tougher. Is what that means to me. And I would think, oh, this is a person who's aware that they need to toughen up. Okay, that's fine. But still, how much information did they glean from that? What do they learn from that answer? I don't know, from asking that question.
But I just wonder, do you think they maybe were thinking of that racism or any discrimination in that
I,
sense? I'm sensitive,
yeah,
but
I can't think so.
oh, okay,
I don't think so because
okay,
if all you said was I'm too sensitive, um, there's no way to read in all those things. But because you were a sensitive person, you read into you interpreted it that way,
oh,
your own response. But no, it doesn't. I don't think
okay,
I don't think they
okay,
would think this. Yeah.
okay,
I'm gonna have to get rolling.
okay,
Get back to work. But this was
yeah,
fun. Maybe
yes,
we can do it again
yeah,
sometime if you
yes.
want to have. How did the other one come out? Was there enough?
Oh, just people love your talk. That's why I will have to.
Oh, did you post it?
Yes, I posted
Oh my goodness.
already,
Oh
and
my God.
people really loved your
What,
talk.
what kind of feedback did you get? Was
They
it?
just find you to be very sincere, and and I also talk about your choices, and for us, like a liberal arts major, our choices and our decision of life, and especially many people love that the attitude you like when you were younger. You said to me like being poor is a game or it's a joke or it's a 游戏. They like that,
Uh-huh.
so it's
Uh-huh.
just people responded
Mm,
to that
mm.
a
Interesting.
lot. They think this is because it's really needed in China. Like people really want to see this type of attitude and not all about money, because to
Mm,
make money it's a new thing in China. It's
yeah.
not like
Right.
the Chinese are like or the stereotype of Jewish people are always to do with money. Because I think in China, ancient China, people were very spiritual. 商人 are considered lowest class. To
Mm,
商人 merchants. So always about 文人. So 文人s are very respected.
right.
Philosophy and all that. So I think
Yeah.
it's our nature to
During the first, yeah,
yeah, so
I think
people
that
like it.
after in the after the 50s and until 90s or so, there was the gap between the haves and have-nots, the rich and poor,
Hmm.
the wealth gap was so slim, and the chance for um, really succeeding was not it was very difficult to become rich in China. So there wasn't a lot of competition, and it was a simpler time. People were more happy to focus on literary things, dancing,
Hmm.
simple, sunshine, exercise.
Yes, yes.
Right? It was a simpler time. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
And now you have the opportunity to make such great money that everybody's focused on that, and then they'll get burned out from that. They're the children of the very wealthy are now like, money's not everything. That's what happens. It's a cycle.
Yeah, I think the way I grew up, just with very highbrow stuff. We were
Yeah,
talking just art history. We like, all those poor artists and poets, and we're
right.
talking about who commit suicide or some reincarnation. We talk about these things, all Western stuff, like at the Roman period, the
Yeah,
Greek mythology, all these type of things. And I feel like
yeah.
nowadays they would just judge me by the clothes I'm wearing, or
Right.
just it's just I think I had a more, so those times seem to be gone forever. So it's like a very short Renaissance cultural period in China. But
Right.
nowadays people are just making money. So I think now they have money, as you say, they will have time to think, because that's exactly happened to this new generation. I just post something like a girl. She also listened to our conversation, so she learned that after our conversation, she said she will study liberal arts in Berkeley. She read my book, decided to come to California, and she just got the admission letter. So she informed me and showed me all the books she bought, the books I wrote in those past, when she was in high school years. And now, like, she got got into her dream school, and she told me she's going to study liberal arts. So I'm very happy because she's like 17, 18, right?
Yeah.
Like us, you see. But
Idealistic.
the 28, the 38, they're like, they don't think like me. They're like, they think like poor peasants, you know.
New
I don't
money.
want, they all they interest is to get a like trade or
So
be,
yeah, there's
so
so there's it's like the new money, old money division, difference between people who've always had money, like the really wealthy we say the very wealthy don't talk about money. They don't talk about how much they make and how much they just don't have these conversations.
yes. So
it's new money. People with new recently, they're the ones that want to talk about it.
those people, they're not there yet, they work in Wall Street. And so they told me, said, okay, Annie, I have some friends, and their kids are in their parents, they're all in the same private school, but their parents don't have conversation with me, and we have nothing in common. How can I start a conversation with them and be part of them? So that's my friend's question. I think they didn't grow up this way. They just, all they care was about scores and, to get a good grades and, to get a good job. So how can they start a conversation? I don't know. That question, I don't have an answer myself. I don't have answer myself. I don't know what to tell her.
I mean, you can have a conversation about anything. You can look at a painting or outside the window, or like, it can be, but you've got to find some common ground where people have the same values. It could be about food. It could be about a bird, you see, like nature.
Exactly. So they don't have this type of.
They just they don't have the skills to, because that's not everything they've never had to do. Yeah, it's interesting. How do you teach that?
Yeah.
But, I mean, we have social skills classes here now to teach kids how to interact with each other. And I mean, some people growing up without the ability to do that, the ability to make small talk or just meet new people. How do you strike a conversation with people if you've just been studying all your life? So it's weird.
Small talk is very safe. Small talk, you don't really worry about hurting people's feelings or just.
If you do it right. Yeah, if you do it right.
Yes.
So, right. All right.
I wrote my last sentence, so there's a phrase in China.
Oh, here in the chat?
Yeah.
Let's see, 冲的字成钱了. Is that 冲的字成钱了吗?
Yes.
Yeah.
You understand?
Or you can only make money, or you can only.
They're so poor. They only got money, nothing else.
Yes, that's all they got.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So it's poor in every other way except.
No imagination, no life. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I hope we'll catch up. This time is long, so I'll do a lot of editing.
Okay. Yeah. That's good. I'll give you plenty of work on.
People have.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, let me know. Okay, bye. Say hi to Sean.
Okay.
And all the others.
Okay.
The whole crew. Bye.